Aprobar las actas del Congreso Pleno correspondientes a las fechas 20 de julio, 21 de julio y 7 de agosto de 2022. Está leída la proposición, presidente. Aprueba el Congreso Pleno la proposición.
I wish I got before that clip that I showed you, which was, they had a speech in the public square. I wish I got right before that, which was a bunch of people cheering with their hands up in the air like this. And they were cheering back to the new lefty president, Gustavo, I forgot his last name. I have to look up his name. But anyway, this president that was just elected, he's the first leftist president that Colombia has had, I think ever. The first leftist, because Colombia has always been a poor country, always been kind of ignored. They've never really been so advanced. They've always had like a pretty free economy, but people just didn't really mess around because of the cartels. People were kind of scared, so they wouldn't come here. But more recently, over time, in the past few years, I would say, because that fear had mostly gone away and everything was just so cheap and not very regulated, a lot of people were moving to Colombia and a lot of people were moving their businesses to Colombia. So this place has started to become, there's a lot of innovation. As you can see in the background, there's a mix of old things, just garbage, stuff being thrown around, but also a lot of new construction. And so that's, for a lot of people, that's a good thing, right? Innovation, new things being built, new business coming to their country, more higher paying jobs, more advancement, more stuff like the place that we're staying in. But then for a lot of people, that's not a good thing because they feel oh no, now they have to compete. They have to compete with these big rich people, inflation, all that stuff. And so then they elected this leftist president and this leftist president who is basically promising that he's gonna do away with the corporate tax breaks. He's gonna add a lot more regulations. He's gonna ban fracking. He's gonna ban, new oil. A lot of things that you see from lefty politicians in other countries. And he's gonna basically try to make things go in the way of Venezuela. He's a rebel president. He's a former guerrilla fighter, and just like all the other lefties that you've seen in other countries. And it's really interesting to me because the talking points, if you notice, if you watch some of his speeches, let me just find out his name. All right, so we got Port City of Cartagena. Buildings, lots of boats. And then we've got all this cargo stuff, trucks, stuff like that. And then we've got soldiers. I don't know if you can tell, we got soldiers in there. So a lot of the talking points are the same. In any economy where you see there's a lot of growth, followed by a lot of people starting to protest, oh no, prices are going up. There's two ways that people respond to innovation being brought to an economy and inflation that follows. One way that people respond is they say, okay, I feel stressed, struggling to compete with all these people. I'm gonna try to find a way to find out how all these other people are making so much money. Because if there is inflation, if people are making so much money, chances are that's a good sign. That's wealth, So person who's thinking about that is going to try and gravitate towards wealth themselves. They're going to try to find out the origin of the source. They're going to try to become wealth. If you're a capitalist-minded person, you're going to see a wealthy person that comes into your economy. You're going to see a lot of money that is being brought into your economy. You're going to see inflation, and you're going to say, how can I benefit from that? How can I benefit from inflation? What can I do to ride this wave? Where can I find the origin of all this wealth? If you're a little bit more communist minded, and a lot of people don't think of themselves as communists, but this is just a mindset, a way of thinking that communism just grasped into one ideology. But a lot of people think in a communist way. A lot of us do. I do also when I'm, feeling down. Just don't think of it like this. We think the communist way of thinking is, how can I stop this new wealth from bringing in so that I don't have to compete with it? So it's like what I tweeted the other day, like with I tweeted a story of like this man with a jug of fresh water walks into a crowd of like starving, thirsty people that are like in a desert, starving, dying of thirst. And the capitalist is like, hey, let me find out where this guy got his jug of water so I can also have some water. The communists are like, oh no, like it's not fair that this guy gets to have water and we don't, and we have to compete with him. Let's kill him. Let's kill him. So that we're not poor anymore. Because now that this rich guy became introduced to our economy, he's rich and we're poor. If we get rid of the rich guy, we'll be rich again. Because there's no rich guy, there's nobody richer than us. So that's how communist thinks. They try to, and communism begets communism, because the more rules there are, the more connected everybody is in the economy by force, by like government force, the more your future and your well-being is tied to the other people in your country, the more another person coming in with competition is going to affect you, and the more you're likely to veer towards communism. So it's like a slippery slope, and that's definitely what we're seeing in a lot of countries, and Colombia is no different. They're at the very least, people are affected by inflation. So, instead of coming in and being like, yo, you guys can benefit from this too, people, there's let's say more fiber internet being brought to your country. Do you know how much money you can make with fiber internet as an individual with a phone, or anything, as an individual with any electronic device that connects to Wi-Fi? You know how much money you could be making with this? Instead of people coming in and saying that, you have the rebel fighters being like, yeah, let's try to stop this innovation so you don't have to deal with all that. Anyway, one sec. More people on this island this morning. 2 guys this time. So honestly, I don't really know that much about Colombia to know what's going to happen in the future, but a lot of people are saying that it's going in the direction of Venezuela, because there is like this boom of commerce. A lot of Westerners came and bought land here. A lot of like people came and incorporated their businesses here in Colombia, and there was like just this boom over the past decade or so of just like people bringing business to Colombia and making a lot of money here. And so that's basically usually when there's a boom like that, that's followed by a lot of very, very angry, very jealous people. And once they find their leader, a revolutionary that is like, we don't want that anymore, that's basically usually the catalyst for some sort of, locking down on all of that wealth. So this guy, he promises to tax up to $10 billion. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see how they do it. But they're going to basically clamp down. And I don't think they're going to be strong enough. Like, I think like the people that have invested in Colombia, like, can easily pull out. They're mostly expats. Nobody's been here long enough to like stay. So I don't think it's going to become as strong as like some other communist country. They're just going to expel a lot of the wealth that came in the past couple decades. And I think that's probably the only real impact that's gonna happen. There's not gonna be like a huge communist force like in China or anything like that. Anyway, that's just my take. So hope you guys do well. See you guys in the next video. This is really cool street like to walk through in the morning. This police is stuck in traffic. There's like nowhere to go. They should have a motorcycle. Okay guys, I just want to show you something really quickly. So, I don't know what you're doing on a Monday, but this is my Monday, okay? So like, check this out. I got the views. And then, over there, there's a pool. I don't know if you can tell. Alright, since I didn't do a good job of showing it in that video, there's a pool, the rooftop pool that I like to hang out in. And there's the water. Check out these vultures. How creepy is that?
¿Qué pasó, menina? Es linda. Tomé coraje y comencé a agarchar.
This is my life and it feels amazing and I can't believe I deserve to have this.